It's noon here in Ventnor City, New Jersey, and our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., and this is news that you can use from CarEdge for Wednesday, May 22nd. With your host, me, Ray, sporting a new shirt today, and Zach sporting another new. How much money did you spend shopping, Sonny Boy? Because you look damn good.
Yeah, no, I did spend some money, man. I did. And that's why we always have a sponsor for our show here on the Ray and Zach channel. CarEdge.com, our company, sponsoring today's show. You've got 10 days left for our end of month promotion. The car search, car buying service, car buying tools, sell a vehicle, get warranty and protection, all that and more back at CarEdge.com. Dad, today we are talking about Ford. And holy cow, we are going to take a trip down memory lane. Does everyone remember March 2nd, 2022? Do you remember where you were on March 2nd, 2022, Dad?
I think I might have been in the crapper. I'm not 100% certain, but I'm sure I spent a few minutes there. So go ahead. Yes.
March 2nd, 2022, outside of using the bathroom, the big news story that day was Ford's decision to set up a new company within Ford Motor Company that they would call Ford Model E. This was their new electric vehicle division. They were splitting out internal combustion engine vehicles and electric vehicles. And as a result of that, they put some pretty tough guidelines in front of their dealer partners. And about 65%, so almost two-thirds of Ford's dealers agreed to these new selling rules to be able to be a Model E certified Ford dealer. So 1,920 of the nearly 3,000 U.S. dealerships accepted Ford's no haggle EV pricing and the expensive multi-$100,000, if not $1 million charging infrastructure requirements. That number started to dwindle. So as we got to December, it went from about 65% to about 50% of Ford dealers that were actually in the program. And then even just a couple weeks ago or a couple months ago, we had another 400 dealers drop out. Now, I promise I will let my dad talk. I'm almost done with the backstory here. This decision from Ford has been mired in legal battles as well in multiple states, as well as just like general legal opinions from law firms out there. Can Ford even do this to their dealer body? Yesterday, Dad, right before we went live, Ford came out with this quote. This is from Automotive News. Ford tells dealers to halt EV investments while it alters certification program. Ford is telling dealers enrolled in its EV certification program to pause any financial commitments while it responds to feedback it got from meeting with them around the country.
So, in other words, on March 22nd, 2022, while I was in the crapper, Ford is now in the crapper, trying to figure out what they're going to do with their electric vehicle division and what the requirements are going to be for their dealer body in order to be certified to take some of those electric vehicles and sell them at $10,000, $12,000, $15,000 losses. I suppose, Ford to their dealers. Can we chat again? Can we? It's almost a really, you got to be kidding me. If you don't wonder how these executives get these jobs in the first place.
I want to pull up one thing, Dad, before we go too much further. This comes on the heels of Ford's latest quarterly earnings. They lose $132,000 for every EV they sell. So let's just sit with that for a moment, because I'm reading the chat. I'm perusing the chat as we're having this conversation. Drew saying, have we talked about how Ford is going out of business per the thumbnail? Feels like that would have been bigger news. I don't know, Drew. If they lose $132,000 a pop and their dealer partners are going up in arms saying, what the hell are you having us do here? Spend $1 million, then stop spending it. Like, I'm Mr. Hyperbole. I get it. But this is not a sustainable operating position for Ford. Not in the slightest.
Well, I don't know. It seems as if, to me, looking at those numbers, that perhaps Jim Farley is interviewing for a different position with a different company. And that company would be Rivian. Because, Nobody has succeeded quite like the CEO of Rivian, where they were losing like $250,000 per new vehicle sold, and he was making 389 million. So maybe Jim Farley and Ford, maybe they're looking for a Saudi investment partner. You don't think they're looking for a benefactor?
I just don't know why you always have to go there, because you know it frustrates me, but you still do it. Anyway, I don't see how losing $132,000 per vehicle is going to be sustainable. And this recent decision to tell their dealers, hey, stop investing, I think is another sign that Ford's confidence in their prior decision, which was March 2nd of 2022, they're starting to walk it back, Dad. And we've seen other automakers start to walk it back too. Other automakers come out and say, you know what, this idea of going full EV, we're not doing it anytime soon. We're going hybrid instead. I wonder how expensive it's going to be for Ford, both in terms of customer sentiment, dealer sentiment, and ultimately their P&L, for them to walk back a decision that they moved aggressively. They moved really aggressively back in March of 2022, and now they've got egg on their face.
Okay, so they move too aggressively, but yes, they can sustain these losses for quite some time, even with losses in the EV division to the tune of $5.5 billion last year. The company as a whole still made what, 12 billion, 13 billion? Okay, so they would have made 18 billion if they didn't have the EV division. They're still making money. Can they sustain these losses until they can figure out a way to make EVs profitable? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they probably can. Do they want to? Well, they would probably want to have smaller losses than what they're currently having. And they've probably lost some dealer confidence for any number of reasons. Part of it is the ongoing quality issues that Ford has been having, and part of it has been the stance that Ford as a company took towards EVs and the rapid growth into EVs that just has not panned out for anybody. It hasn't panned out for Ford, and it certainly isn't panning out for their dealer body.
Do you see a world, Dad, where Ford, forges a strong relationship with their dealers again? Because if I'm not mistaken, I've read many comments from our dealer partners as well as various other forums and things like that. Even the 2023 F-150s that have 0% financing right now are still not moving. So, I mean, it's even like the stalwart, even like the best models that they've always been able to turn and churn out, those aren't selling. So it's like, I wonder if Ford has an opportunity to forge that relationship back with their dealers, or is this going to be a really, really like tense butting heads in a situation for years to come?
They've been around for 100 and some years, 120 years. Yeah, I think they'll be able to forge good relations with their dealers again. I mean, every manufacturer goes through periods like this. It's a cyclical business. Some of the business choices that are made on a corporate manufacturing level pan out. Some don't. Etzel didn't. Okay. Lincoln did to a degree. Mercury hasn't. So, have at GM, there was Saturn, then there wasn't. There was Oldsmobile, then there wasn't. There was Pontiac, then there wasn't. So, I mean, they all go through these things. There's always hits and misses. Back in the 60s and 70s, the theory was, well, the people will buy whatever the hell we build. And that's kind of changed to a degree where the people want a little input into what they build.
I want to pull up one more piece of data for this conversation, which is, I don't know if you remember, Dad, last year, Kerrigan Partners, I think is the firm. Yes. They do a dealer survey for the most and least trusted automakers. Yes. Ford was the least trusted automaker. Toyota was the most trusted brand. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago? We were talking about how Stellantis and Ford are the least well-respected and trusted for their supplier partners.
Yes.
This I do want to say though, I want to give flowers where flowers are due, because we are equal opportunity. We see both sides of the aisle here. Frick, who's one of the executives at Ford, said 93% of dealers who attended the meetings with Ford left with higher confidence in the brand, according to an internal survey. So internal surveys are showing that Ford is going in the right direction.
Yeah, well, it probably wouldn't have taken much to get 93% of the dealers to feel better about things after you have a conversation with them. Okay, when you actually sit down face to face, and you're not just sending out PR notices. Yeah, you can build back some trust, but if it wasn't 90%, there would have been an even bigger problem. I mean, come on, you've got the executive team chatting with the local dealers, at least pretending to listen to what it is that the dealers have to say. So yeah, anytime they have those meetings, yeah, the dealer body trust in the brand goes up.
Did you ever have meetings with like high ups at any of the brands that you represented, or was it always just factory reps? Like, did you ever have a situation like this at any of the dealerships you worked at?
Yeah, when I was with Acura, yeah, we would. There's a gentleman that's the COO of Kia today. His name is Steve Center. Steve used to be a big shot with Honda and Acura. I remember many a meeting where Steve was a major participant from the factory end of things for Acura. So yeah, they do it because they realize the memos they send out don't give the dealer body the warm and fuzzies like actually sitting down and having a conversation. It's no different than politics. You have to press the flesh, and if you're not doing that at a corporate level, then you're losing your customers, and in this case, your customers are your dealers.
One other angle on this I want to touch on, then we're going to switch gears. There's a lot of interesting news today. I'm going to go to the CarEdge car search, and we also need to go to the chat. But I'm going to go to the car search, Dad, and we are looking at just new electric powertrain Fords right now. Okay, that's what I've got toggled into the car search. There are nearly 26,000 new electric Fords for sale nationwide. I am curious to just pull in used real quick. Okay, there's only 2,000. There are only 2,000 used. So here we go. We're looking at the new ones. The theme that I want to press on here, Dad, is how much was Ford losing per vehicle, per electric vehicle?
$132,000.
Ford has said, and this is where a lot of contention came from their no haggle EV pricing from the Model E announcement back on March 2nd, 2022, that dealers are not going to make money selling these things at their invoice price or at their MSRP, because invoice was MSRP.
Yes.
So it was unclear where the margin was coming from. Let's just scroll through the first page of results and let's talk about the prices. $54,000 MSRP, $54,000 MSRP, $53,000 MSRP. Those are all on Ford Mustang Mach-E premiums. $94,415 MSRP on a 2023 Ford F-150, $50,000 MSRP. So that's getting into almost the average new car transaction price, which is $48,000 for a 2023 Ford Mustang. $74,000 for another Lightning, $55,000, $53,000, $52,000, $51,000, $47,000. We are, or $46,000. We are under the average new car transaction price on the entire first page of results, and the F-150s are all over 70 grand. Maybe this has something to do with it. Maybe that has a little something to do with it. And why I went with going out of business on the thumbnail is because I just don't see it, guys. I really don't. I don't see a world where you lose $120,000, $130,000 a vehicle. Tell your dealer partners, we don't make any money on this. You're not going to make any money on this. We didn't even pull up the headline from Automotive News from earlier this week of Ford saying to figure out profitability, Dad, they're going to their suppliers and asking them to help them figure out how to make it more profitable. And then the average transaction price is more than what Americans can afford. Might take a little bit of time because it's the freaking, it's like a massive cruise ship. Okay, it's not going to sink overnight. But dude, they are in some doo-doo. They're in trouble.
Sorry, they're not.
They are. They are. They 100% are.
They not to the degree that you're painting the trouble. Come on, we just discussed it. They made $13 billion last year.
They can lose
even
13 billion pretty quickly, man.
Even after losing $5.5 billion on the EV side of things. There is enough profit built into everything else that they sell, either commercially or through the ICE division, that can underwrite these losses for quite some time. And they're slowing down, pushing out more EV product until they can figure out how to make it less expensive, both in a manufacturing way and in an MSRP way to attract more buyers to the product. So
that's it. If they didn't pump the brakes on EV, go back to hybrid, which is what they're doing, then they'd be screwed. Then they'd really be screwed. But so far they've made the calls, they've made the decisions from at least our vantage point to try and save themselves from going too far down that path where it could become irreparable, where you are stuck. You put way too much money into which you've got to imagine these bigwig executives they hire wouldn't put themselves in that position. But I don't know, man. When Tesla was flying like crazy, everyone was looking at that saying, how do we get a market cap like Tesla? That's what Ford was thinking. That's why Farley was, doing podcasts and things like that. So jury's still out for me.
We do podcasts, and there's a question of whether or not we'll be around. So.
All right, we're going to come to the chat here in just a second. Before we do, I want to remind everyone back at CarEdge.com, we have the car buying service. So if you don't want to deal with all the crap that is buying a vehicle at a car dealership, let us do it for you. Just check it out. Go to CarEdge.com and then click car buying service. All right, Dad, we are here from Michael.
Yes,
thank you for the contribution.
Michael.
Isn't that $132,000 loss not accurate? It's like spending $100 starting a lemonade stand and then saying you lost $100 selling the first lemonade. Drew has the same comment. Take $10 for dealing with my joke. Thanks, Drew. But the unit loss probably includes the capital investment to start EV sales themselves. The cost of goods sold on a Mach-E is not $100,000. That loss will go down over time. Yeah, great call outs from our community.
Absolutely.
The costs associated with just like the COGS, the cost of goods sold, are significantly less than $130,000 for a Mach-E. And if they aren't, then Ford's really doing something backwards.
No, they're figuring in the cost of setting all this up. If you've produced 10,000 of it, the cost is a lot higher than when you've produced 10 million. So yes, the number's going to go down. Absolutely. Are they going to continue to lose money on the EV side of things for quite some time? Yeah. How long did Tesla lose money before they became profitable? 10 years? 12 years? Whatever. How long did Amazon lose money before they became profitable? I get it. The point is that they're at least smart enough to reevaluate the speed at which they're intending to go completely electric. And we have seen other brands do the same thing. I mean, I sent you an article today about Volkswagen, and the ID.7 sedan, electric sedan, was supposed to be introduced in North America in the third quarter of this year. Now it's not going to be, because A, people don't buy sedans, and B, they definitely are not buying EV sedans from anyone other than Tesla. So all the manufacturers are reevaluating their position when it comes to the speed at which they see the EV conversion happening.
100%. All right, we are going to switch gears here in just a moment. Before we do, from Squeegee Kid. Thank you, Squeegee Kid. Hi, Ray and Zach. Does CarEdge still offer special partner pricing via CarEdge on certain brands, Toyota, Hyundai, Ford, etc.? Thanks for your content. We've actually walked back the special pricing and things like that. We are fully focused on locating, negotiating, and just trying to make sure that CarEdge customers that use our car buying service don't have to deal with a dealership. So we no longer have like special pricing or anything like that on the website. We're really, really focused on just doing that negotiation for the community, for those that don't want to use all the tools we have back on the website and over on the main channel. Another big story, man.
Yes.
Another really big story.
Yes.
Average age of U.S. vehicles reaches new heights. The average age of a vehicle rises to 12.6 years. This is the average age of a vehicle that's on the road right now, 12.6 years old. Total vehicles in operation increases to 286 million. I know you had a chance to review this article. What was your what's the lay of the land here, and what's your take on it?
Well, I'm just absolutely shocked that there's 286 million vehicles that are registered, that are on the road. And how many are unregistered that we don't know about. And 88 million of that 286 million are 1 to 5 years old. So the vast majority of people are keeping cars longer, or what we're finding is that people who were trying to get into their first car are more than likely to get into an older car at a much lower cost and forced to maintain it and keep those for a longer period of time than they have in the past. It speaks to a couple things. A, that the quality of the vehicles being produced, that have been produced in the last 30, 40 years, has gone up dramatically enough that the cars can last that long. I mean,
yep.
When I first started in the business, anything that was like close to 100,000 miles, we were all afraid of. It was like 100,000 miles was the death knell of a vehicle. Nobody expected it to last that much longer, and the amount it would take to maintain it, to get it to last beyond that, was substantial. So dealers were afraid of it. Today, 150, 200, 250,000 miles on vehicles is not an uncommon occurrence. So it's a
Dad,
lot.
If I'm not mistaken, there's was it Kia or Nissan who extended their certified pre-owned program to include 8-year-old cars?
It might have been Kia. Yeah.
To your point, when you were in the business, over 100,000 miles, no go. Now you can get a certified pre-owned 8-year-old Kia. I mean, that wasn't happening back in the day. Even 5 years ago, that wasn't happening.
No, but so we're going to continue to see more and more older vehicles on the road, and part of it had to do with the pandemic, where there were 15 to 18 million vehicles worldwide, new vehicles worldwide, that had been scheduled to be built that were not built. And so just in this country alone, that probably was equivalent to like 10 million vehicles, new vehicles that were scheduled to be built that weren't. And if you figure there's a trade on about 60% of all deals, that meant there were, 6 million used cars that didn't come about. That people stayed in. So that adds to the age of the of vehicles in use today. It's still going to take, in my opinion, till the end of the decade for things to even out, even though they're getting closer to what normal was. It's still going to take time.
So let's look at this chart together. This is really nice. This is from S&P Global Mobility. It goes all the way back to 2002. Okay. And you have in the green line, that is your cars and light trucks, everything combined. So back in 2002, the age of a vehicle in operation was 9.6 years old. Okay. And today, like we just said a moment ago, we're at 12.6. So over 22 years, the fleet has aged a total of 3 years. So about 30%, 33%. Look at the cars line, Dad.
Yes.
The average age of a car in operation, not a truck, a car, was 9.8 years back in 2002. It is now 14 years of age. And the slope, we're going to use some big math words here. The slope of that line has increased significantly as of late. So the age of cars in operation have especially increased. And I think this graph is really, really interesting to demonstrate how serious of an increase in age we are seeing on the roads. That's a lot of safety features that are not in those vehicles. That's a lot of people who probably would want to get into a new vehicle, but quite frankly can't afford it. Also don't necessarily want all the maintenance costs, things like that. That's a huge delta over that period of time.
That's a lot of issues waiting to happen. I mean, the average age of it. I mean, it's fine. I was thinking about this earlier today. Your Uncle Kenny, my brother, God bless him, he keeps a car 20 years or more.
Yep.
I keep a car 20 minutes. Okay. I mean, really, in comparison to your uncle, I hold on to a car for 20 minutes. I say, okay, time for another. I have no concept of what it's like to actually drive an older vehicle other than that Maxima we had that I bought for you kids before you or Dara were even old enough to drive because I thought it would make a good first car.
Yep.
It's it's hard for me to fathom how people get into those cars and expect. I mean, if I said to you, hey, honey, let's drive cross country and let's do it in my, I don't know, 2001 Honda Civic, are you in? Because I don't think I'd be in because I'm thinking, maybe we get somewhere into Western Pennsylvania before the damn thing breaks down and we have to try and figure out how to get it fixed. So I when I think of those older cars, I think, my God, they just have to be for around town. You can't go anywhere.
I hear you loud and clear, but it was only a week or so ago that we were talking about the average repair bill going up to some astronomical amount, like thousands of dollars as the average RO repair order on a vehicle. And that has to be in part, I saw some of the comments, all the chips and sensors and all the crap that's in the new vehicles, which is going to lead me to a plug, folks. We have just a car electronics warranty product back on CarEdge.com. And it is $100 off right now. And it's just like all our other products. We vet the partner. We have transparent and flat markup. So check it out, the technology coverage. But I actually think it makes more sense than ever before for those people who are getting out of the 2001 Civic and into that 2025 Hyundai, whatever you want to call it, that has, I mean, if a bumper gets hit on that thing, man, it could be $1,000+ because there's sensors. You got it. So it's a change in time, that's for damn sure. I don't know if I'm going cross country with you. I don't know in that 2001, but it's a changing time.
I might not even go 30 miles up the New Jersey Parkway in a 20-some-year-old car.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be frightened to do that. Like, what calamity is just waiting around the bend for me?
Yeah, everyone's got different perspectives. There's people in our chat today, Dad, people here with us from the CarEdge community that have had cars 20, 30 years and never had an issue. So I totally get it. Let's jump back to the chat, and then we have a segment for our last segment of the show that you have to stay tuned for. From Matthew Hoskin, good to see you here, Matthew. Thank you, sir. Porsche will certify 12 to 15-year-old low mileage cars. Wow.
That's because a lot of Porsche owners buy a car to never drive it. It's like, what's the point? You take it out every third Sunday.
From Matthew, thank you for donating. I actually had your prior comment that you did not donate on ready to go. So thank you for donating. Sorry you had to do that. I had it queued up. How fast is the Hyundai Santa Fe selling? I will say, I also saw a couple members of the CarEdge community share some days supply data with you in the chat. Matthew, I'm going to go to the CarEdge car search. I don't know where you live, so that's going to limit me a little bit, but we're looking for the new Hyundai. Let's get rid of electric, and then let's go Santa Fe. So this is going to be in Michigan, in Dearborn, Michigan. Let's see what this one's only been on this dealer's lot for 8 days. 117 days supply, 26 for sale, 10 sold in the last 45 days. So it's really going to depend on where you're located, Matthew, because this one obviously shows that there's a decent amount of inventory. Let me get a different trim level, like the calligraphy. Man, they look like Land Rover Defenders.
They do. Yes.
60 days supply, 63 for sale, 47 have sold in the last 45 days. This is with CarEdge Market Insights, Matthew. So maybe go check that out. Hopefully you found that to be a bit helpful. We've got from Dane here, Dad. Thank you, Dane. Went to a GMC dealer to look at a 2024 GMC 2500 Denali Ultimate. On the lot 100 days, has a $98,000 MSRP, and they came down to $102,000 out the door. Am I being greedy, holding out for $97,000? They keep calling me every day. What do you think, Dad?
Well, $98,000 MSRP. So it's about $10,000 in fees. That's 108,000.
Taxes and fees. Taxes and
Yeah,
fees.
yeah. So that's 108,000. There's probably about 10% markup in that vehicle. So will you get it to 97? I don't. 99 might work. 99, 98.5, somewhere in that area, I would think. That's just a guess. But yeah, if they've had it for 100 days, that's getting costly on floor plan.
And if they're still calling you, Dane, I think that's a good sign. So
Yes.
yeah, I'm team 98.5 here. Let us know what happens. We've got from Grease Belly. Thank you, Grease Belly. I have less faith in newer cars. My 1985 Toyota truck is better than all of them. See, Dad, there are people like that in our community who have had awesome experiences.
I get it. No, I get it. Yeah. No, I understand.
And then we've got from Cloapo here. Thank you, Cloapo. Driving the Poopy Deal Titan. Congratulations, Cloapo, on your not so great Nissan Titan deal. Dad, we got to go to it. It is one of the most shocking, really, you got to be kidding me, we'll ever have. I'm ready when you are.
Really? You got to be kidding me.
We helped a customer purchase a new Lexus. That was through our CarEdge car buying service. They got a great deal. Then the finance manager tried to add $20,000 in insurance products on the final contract. WTF, this is absurd. So this was a deal that we did for a customer.
Yes.
Awesome deal. Then this happened. The customer obviously came to us and said, what do I do? And we said, you don't pay for any of that stuff. And it was removed. We've got a $4,995 maintenance contract. We have an $8,995 extended service contract. That's a extended warranty, but you have to call it a vehicle service contract or an extended service contract. Then you have $1,200 in Toyota Motor Insurance Services. Then you have $1,240 in optional sales commission, which in parentheses, it's hard to read, says not required by law. Tipping culture has gotten out of hand. And then you have $4,495 for tire and wheel protection.
You know, seeing the costs associated with every one of those things, that would be enough to make me not want to buy the car. Scare the hell out of me. Are you telling me that I can buy the extended maintenance contract, the maintenance contract for the vehicle, to take care of maintenance for I don't know how many years and how many thousands of miles, that's going to cost me $5,000, and by paying that $5,000 up front, it's actually going to save me money. So if I don't spend that $5,000, it might actually end up costing me $7,500 or $8,000 to maintain that vehicle for, I don't know, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. What is this stuff? Is this made out of gold? And what kind of tires and wheels does it have that it's $4,500 insurance to protect against roadside hazards and scuffing the? I mean, this is.
Can I show you something?
You can show me anything you want. What are you showing me there, buddy? That you can get a full 10-year
vehicle service contract from CarEdge for 10 years, 100,000 miles, $1,860. The markup in here is obscene, to say the least. I haven't even run the tire and wheel. It is obscene. And Dad, the fact that this was a customer of ours, we did an incredible job getting them a great deal. Round two, the dealership's thinking, okay, I'm going to get it all back. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. $20,000 in add-ons on a $62,000 vehicle. Someone do the math here. Isn't that a 33% markup? And if they didn't have us in their corner, who knows what would have happened here? Who knows? And a lot of those products, to be clear, are cancelable. So you can cancel them and get a prorated refund. So it wouldn't have been the end of the world. But still,
why do you have to go through all that? And why do you have to sit there and have somebody insult your intelligence with that type of egregious pricing? And
then you're financing it. Well,
it's a Lexus, damn it. So an extended service contract's not $9,000 because it's not a BMW. Okay. It's not a Porsche. It is just a dealer encouraging their F&I managers to try and win back everything and more that the dealership had to give away up front to get the customer to say yes.
I just did Tire and Wheel on our website, Dad.
Yeah.
For 5 years.
Yes.
Okay. And this includes cosmetic damage. It's $869. For 7 years, it's $904. Again, folks, the dealership was trying to charge $4,495.
Yes, yes, but that's because it was a forever tire and wheel. Perhaps I don't know. It's.
Oh, and I will mention, when we pushed back, all these were removed, and we got a deal. Kudos to the dealer for removing them all and getting the deal done. But also, we should have never even had to get there.
But you're a Lexus dealer. Why put your customer through any of that? They're buying a luxury vehicle. They expect to get a luxury experience. And a luxury experience does not include the bend me over the barrel package, which is ultimately going to preclude that customer from ever wanting to come back and do business with them again. People don't forget that. Okay? You're a luxury. You're a luxury brand. Treat your customer like a luxury buyer and give them a luxury experience. End of damn sentence.
All right, folks, we are going to move on. And yeah, a lot of people saying don't give kudos to the dealer. So actually, yeah, I take back giving kudos. Kudos to us for not putting up with that.
Yes.
We've got here from Goobkitus of Borg. Thank you. Just to help, it's pronounced Goob Cute Us. Love what y'all do and watch every day. Thank you. Thank you for being here, Goob Cute Us. Can't wait.
Yes.
For the next one from Cloabo. Come on, Ray. The sales advisors have boat payments. That's a really good point, Dad.
They do. And jet ski
needs to buy a yacht. So
and jet ski payments and everything. No, I get it. No, trust me.
From CL Dans. Thank you, CL Dans. I received a text for $22,000 off of a Nissan Armada. Royal Nissan has made changes. No more nonsense charges. Purchased a Murano, $38,000 with a $9,000 trade. Yeah, Nissan dealers have a massive oversupply of inventory right now. A great option heading into the Memorial Day holiday. Go negotiate. Nissan, good option. Really good option. From Baron of Gray Matter, thank you again. Ray, why are your former peers so dishonest? I understand business, but car dealers have a bad reputation for a reason. They deserve all the trouble. This is a great question for you, Dad. I mean, did you ever work with a finance manager who would try and pull crap like this?
Sure. Yeah, of course. Did I want to? I might not have hired the son of a gun. Why? Because the industry lends itself to it. That's why. Many dealer principals encourage that type of activity. Should they? Absolutely not. But it's like any business out there. I mean, there's some good business people, some shady business people, and some who aren't entirely sure what side of that line they should be on.
I just pulled up the CarEdge manifesto. I dropped it in the chat as well. This is my take on why, and I added some photos the other day, Dad, so we got some cute photos of us now on the manifesto. But this is my take on why the industry operates in the way it does. And at the end of the day,
buying your car?
Yeah, that was me when I bought my car. You were there. You were there to help me buy my car.
Yeah.
Yep. But this is, to be clear, this is how we make money here at CarEdge. The reason I bring this up is because it's all compensation. The way you get compensated more in the auto industry at most dealer groups is by gross profit, how much gross profit was on the transaction. And so you're incentivized to increase gross profit as much as possible, which is read the manifesto, caredge.com/manifesto. Super proud of that. And it's exactly why we do what we do here at CarEdge.
Okay.
Do it again tomorrow.
What's tomorrow? Thursday?
Tomorrow's Thursday.
Yeah. I'm available. Yeah.
I must say, if we go 5 days in a row wearing collared shirts, something's up. Something's absolutely up. But I'm wearing a collared shirt tomorrow. What about you?
I've got more. I've got more.
I got more.
Yeah. I only have two more new ones that I can wear. Yeah,
I got a
yeah,
couple more new ones.
yeah. Yeah.
And I will say, Dad, I've been
Yeah.
trying to do my hair differently. I'm having a good hair day. You're having a great hair day. So I mean, things are looking up for
Yeah,
I mean, look at
yeah.
that.
This if I go outside, the sun will just be bouncing right off my scalp and blinding people. Yeah.
You should wear sunscreen.
Okay.
We'll be back tomorrow, folks. 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 p.m.
Ask me if I will.
I love you. Please wear sunscreen. Thank you for your time as always, Dad.
I love you as well, and I will not.